Hello and welcome to another stream. My name's Ray and it is Learning Korean with Ray, day 126. Thanks for tuning in. Ye to my cats. Well, I mean, there was a timer, right? You can see the timer, so it should be obvious when the stream is starting. But hi and thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so yesterday we started the grammar lesson of the grammar of lesson 12. We learned about some particles that we will review today very quickly, and then we will probably finish the lesson already by learning the next 3 particles. I think there's 3 left. But before we start that, of course, we go into a vocabulary session or a review. And let's go. Ye to my cat, I'm not sure what you mean. Day what? It's day 126. And the limit is not known yet, not known. Not sure how long I will do this, but probably around 500 days at least. And then we'll see. Okay, so let's go to memorize. Oh, that's not memorize. That is not memorize. 1 second. Okay, there we go. This is memorize. Yeah, we have only 4 words to review. Let's go. Okay, 3 days. Saul.
사흘.
Saul. Diligently. 열심히. 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 Yeah. 열심히.
열심히.
열심히. Oil. Key. I can't remember. Let me see the options.
기름.
In my life. Okay, in my life was definitely a weird one. I think it was it Pyeongchang? Pyeongchang?
평생.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Okay, that was the review for today. Very quick. So now let's just continue with the grammar lesson. And let's see if I get the correct side this time. No, I don't. Okay, 1 second. That's happening when I start my streaming software before I start my browser with the correct site open. Almost there. Okay, now I have it. There we go. So I'm opening the website here. Ray, I added you on Discord. Okay. Is the guy on the avatar? No, that's no. Angi Ho. Angi Hyo. No, I don't know who that is. I don't know who Angi Hyo is. The one on the avatar is Park Young-suk. Yeah, it is a former Protoss player, but he's called Park Young-suk. Wait, let me show very quickly. Did it? Okay. Here, that's him. Pak Jong Sok. Pak Jong Sok. That's him. Okay. So now let's go into the grammar lesson. But wait, I've not seen you before, Snaky Pouts. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any other questions, just go ahead and ask. As you can see, I'm always reading the chat and replying to all the questions. Okay, so we are at lesson 12 here. Here we have lesson 12. So let's do a little review of what we have learned yesterday, and then I will continue with the rest. So, first of all, of course, all the vocabulary, and then eliminating the subject. Very often Koreans, omit the subject if it's clear from the context, especially. So that just a little information. And then we had dil and myot. Okay, dil was indicating plural, but it's only used for persons. So multiple persons, or also multiple teachers, multiple doctors, multiple drivers. Every word that specifies a person, basically, then you can use this one to indicate there are more than one of those. For example, the teacher will meet the students, multiple students, tomorrow. Doctors have a lot of money. Actors don't like the movies. Okay, so that was the first one, and then the second one was myot. That's basically meaning few or some, and it's replacing the number that is used with a counter. So instead of saying, where do we have it? Instead of saying I bought 2 cars, here we have 2. Then we have the counter, vehicle counter, and here we have char. So the structure is the same. We have the noun, then the number, and then the counter. Oh wait, that's oh wow, I'm too I'm too far down. But anyways, I can still say it here. We could replace this 2 with myot, and then that would mean I only have a few cars. Doesn't really make sense, the sentence itself, but that's the concept. So you just replace the number syllable with myot, and that means a few or some. When there here, some pens, here we have it. So myot. Okay. Yeah, this is this other special way to count things. But yeah, here we have it basically. Apple, 1, and counter plus particle. And here we have apple, myot, thumb, and counter plus particle. So it's just replacing the number here. And then the third particle we learned is man, meaning only. Just it's either added to the subject or object and replaces the particle. Okay, it replaces the subject particle or the object particle, or you put it after some other things and then you replace nothing. You just leave everything as it was and you just add the man to it. For example, here is it after a noun with the verb hada. So here we don't have an object, so we are not. Actually, I'm not sure. Kongbu, you would say kongbure, right? So I think here it's replacing. Would you need an object particle here? That's the question. Not super sure, but I'm sure about here we only went to school, so the only describes the to school here. So we just put it after the a, the normal particle for the place. We just add it afterwards, and we don't replace the a, we just add to it. Okay, yeah, that were the things that we have learned yesterday, and today we will start with another thing that comes after a, which is saw. And here we go. Foreign learners of Korean are often very confused as to when they should use a saw instead of a, as they both denote places in Korean sentences. A saw is used when denote the location in which the subject is doing something. Okay, so a is only used when you are specifying you want to go to a place, for example. So whenever you have this to, or something is in some other place. But if there's actually an action happening inside of a place, then you use this one. Okay. I will study at school, so I will do the studying inside of the school. The action of studying is taking place inside the school. So. Okay. 저는 학교에서 okay, again. 저는 학교에서 공부할 거예요. 저는 학교에서 공부할 거예요.
저는 학교에서 공부할 거예요.
저는 학교에서 공부할 거예요. Okay, I saw my friend at the hospital, so the action of seeing the friend is taking place in the hospital. Okay. And so on. In order to help you understand the purpose of a saw, I would like to make a distinction between a and a saw. Yeah. As I said, a saw is used to indicate the location which is subject. Only the subject, yeah? Yeah, okay. But I mean, that's what's always happening basically. Only with passive sentences, but we have not learned about those yet. We have not learned the sentence like I was robbed by someone. So I is the subject, but the action was done by the object, basically by the robbers. But we have not learned those sentences, that sentence structure yet for Korean, so we don't care about it now. Okay, this does not mean the location he's going to, looking at, places something on, in. Yeah, only if there's something happening inside of the location. This is not happening inside the location. Going to a location is happening outside of the location. Looking at is also happening outside. Places something on is also happening outside. If I place a pen on the table, the action of placing something is not happening inside of the table, but above the table, for example. Okay. Yes, okay, so I understood that, I think. A saw on the other hand refers to blah blah blah. Okay, let's see what we have here. 저는 건물에, so I, building, 간판을, 간판 was sign, right? 보았어요. I have seen the building sign I have seen the sign on the building or attached to the building. Yeah, I've seen the sign on the building, I think. On the building. Yeah, and the action of seeing doesn't happen inside of the building. Or actually we don't know. It could also mean I've seen the sign inside of the building. On okay, yeah, it could be inside. We don't know. Let's see. In this sentence, the subject is doing the action. A saw is not used in the sentence, so it is unknown as to where the subject was when he or she saw the sign. Yeah, we don't know if it's inside the building or at the side wall of the building. That's true, yeah. Therefore, the person is saying that he or she is on the building. Yeah, that's how I understood it. That's exactly how I understood it. Yes, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Perfect. And now it's actually now it's inside the building. Yes. Okay, so I think I understood this. Another example. 저는 병을 택자에 what is this? 놓았어요? I don't know what this is, but it's definitely I water bottle on the table. So maybe I put or I placed the water bottle on the table. Yeah, exactly. Put the bottle on the table. Perfect. Now let's look at this sentence. In the table. The action of putting the water bottle is happening inside of the table in the zone. That doesn't mean any sense. Yeah. Yeah, this makes no sense. While I was in the table, I placed the bottle somewhere. Okay, however, a so can be used to indicate where the subject is acting because a can be used in sentence to indicate where the bottle is placed. Yeah, they can be used in the same. So for example, before I read the sentence, I could say I placed the water bottle on the table inside of the store. So I was in the store when I placed the bottle on the table. So then for store we would use a so, and for table we use a. Let's see. 저는 방, okay, room. 방에서, so in the room. On the table in the room. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Display. I Korea long. No, wait. I will go. I will go to Korea if this would not be here. But because this is here, it would mean I will go when I'm inside of Korea. When I'm in Korea already, then I will go somewhere. It's not specified. Let's see. Yeah, the action of going is occurring in Korea. That makes no sense. We want to go to Korea. Okay, so this is so far pretty easy. Okay. I slept at home. Fruit is expensive. Guairin pisayo in Korea. Guairin 한국에서 비싸요. Okay, so the action of being expensive is inside of Korea. Outside of Korea, we don't know if it's expensive or not. But inside of Korea, fruit is expensive. Yeah, okay, so I have to say, in my opinion, this is pretty obvious. But before I learned this, or before I read this just now, if I needed to say the sentence fruit is expensive in Korea, I would use inside. So I would use, I think inside was an. So I would use an. But here we can use e saw. So I'm interested in the difference between e saw and an. That's what I want to know now. I hope it's explained. Okay. Okay, the other main usage of a saw has a meaning of from. I will go from Korea. Yeah, okay, so the action of going is happening inside of Korea, and if you don't specify a destination where you want to go, it means you go away from Korea in this case. So the action is happening in Korea, and so you go away from Korea. Okay. Depart, yeah. We'll depart from that station. Yeah. 출발. This getting off a bus or train, I don't know, feels unnatural to me to say I will get off the bus from a certain station. I would always use at a certain station. So in my head, the action of getting off the bus is actually happening inside of the station. So I would use a saw, which is correct, but I don't get the from in this case. But it's still obvious that you would use this one. When something is coming, the student came out of the classroom. Yeah, okay. So came out of the classroom, that's basically the action of to come out is basically starting in the classroom but ending outside the classroom. So here we have like it's not really inside of the location and it's not really outside of the location. So then we use a saw as well. So maybe you can just remember that It's important where the action is actually starting. I come from Canada. Past tense. I come from Canada. I came from Canada. Okay. Past tense. 왔어요. Actually, it makes total sense to use past tense here. I'm not even sure why in English we don't use past tense. Because if I say I come from Canada, I don't know. It's like if I say I come, it's like I'm in the process of coming from Canada right now. It feels weird when I think about it. Obviously, you came from Canada, you left from Canada in the past. This is, yeah, I came from Canada. Yeah, you would I guess you in English you would use I am from Canada. But still, if you really think about it, it doesn't really make sense in English as well. If you take the individual parts by itself. Like, if I say I am from Canada. Well, right now I'm not in Canada, so right now I'm not from Canada. I'm in the past I was from Canada, basically. Yeah, it's weird, of course. But it makes sense. Okay, here we have some complaints about textbooks. Okay, they teach, or some textbooks teach, Jonin something, eso osoyo, before any grammar concepts have been taught. Okay. On the very first page. Yeah, I hate this. If you have like full sentences in the beginning of your learning and you have no idea what each part of the sentence is, it makes not real sense to me. That's exactly the reason why I switched away from the Korean 1 recommended course on MasterReY. I switched away from it, so I would use eso. Okay. Is it important to know that when eso is added to the words yogi, korgi, chogi, here, there, and there, it is common to write, say, so. Okay, so we leave out the a. What would be an example of that? Well, I studied here in this place, not at school, but here at home. I studied here today. I did not go to school. I just learned Korean here. So then the action of studying happened here, so in this location. So yeah, then you would use a saw, but because of this special case, you only use saw. Yogi saw. Okay. There are even more ways in which a saw can be used. Okay, some examples, but we will learn them later, so. Oh, subtract. Okay, so. Okay, so whenever you have this 2 from 1 to something. Yeah, so this is also from. Makes sense. Subtracting. From 10. Yeah, okay, you take away 5 from 10. Okay. Yeah, okay, okay, I can see that. Okay, so that was a big lesson here about this a-saw particle. We have a chat message here. How is it in German? What do you mean? What specific thing you mean? How it is? You mean about this grammar, or just in general? How's the weather in Germany? It was about I come from Canada. Okay. It's also present tense. It's exactly like English. I come from Canada. Well, you say I come out of Canada. Yeah, yeah. I come out of Canada. That's what you say in German. And you can also say I am out of Canada. Yeah, so it's like out of in German. But you also use come or to be as well. Come or to be in the present tense. Yeah, the biggest difference in languages are always when you go away from European or English sentences to Asian languages. Did I say sentence? I mean language. I think Asian languages have a lot of differences to non-Asian languages. While Asian languages in itself, different Asian languages are similar to each other, and different European or American, like English, is also very similar. And Spanish and so on is also very similar to European languages, I would say. Not sure about Russian and so on. So I would put Europe and America, North and South America. So that's also Spanish, basically, South America. For me, they are all very similar. And then there are Asian languages that are totally different from the European ones. And then there is, I don't know about Russian. I have no idea. And then I guess African languages are very different as well. So I would probably say there are like 4 main categories of languages, like European and American, that's one. Then we have Asian languages, then we have African languages, and then we have Russia. Or maybe Russia and some East European languages. I guess they are similar as well, like Ukrainian and so on. But then again, I'm just guessing here. I have no idea. I just know that Asian languages are very different from European languages or English. I mean, English, I guess it's a European language anyways. So if I say European languages, I include English. Yeah, Japanese and Korean are very close. That's true. And I mean, Korean also uses some words from Chinese. They have their own letters by now, but like the origin of the word is still Chinese, so it's all pretty similar. Back in time, I'm not sure when, maybe around like 500 years ago or so, Korea actually used Chinese symbols. There was no Korean alphabet. The Korean language existed, but for writing they used Chinese letters. That's how it was in the past in Korea. And then there was the great king Sejong, who invented the Korean alphabet, and then they had their own alphabet. Like the word car. Car is cha in Korean. It's the same in Japanese. Cha. I know they are very similar, like structure-wise and like the grammatical concepts. Yeah. But I feel, for some reason, with Asian languages, at least Japanese, Korean, and Chinese, I can very clearly tell them apart when I hear or see them. When I see the alphabet, it's obviously a different alphabet for each, so it's easy. But when I hear them, it's also very easy to say which is which, in my opinion, like Korean, Japanese, and Chinese. But if I go to some European countries, like some East European, like I don't know, Croatian and I don't know how the language is called, but Ukrainian, Belarusian. I'm not sure how the languages are called, but those East European languages, I think they are harder to tell apart compared to Korean, Japanese, and Chinese. In Japanese, it's also sha. Is it sha or is it cha? Is there like a little T sound in the beginning or not? Yeah, okay. In Korean, it's cha with a T sound. There are three different ways. It's the same in Chinese, by the way. You can have cha, then you can have ja, 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 and you can have sha. So cha, ja, and sha. Three different sounds, basically. Yeah. Okay. I know I've read it in these lessons here. I've read it a lot that certain words and syllables are coming from Chinese, and they sound the same even sometimes. So yeah, it's definitely true. There's even, I'm not sure what it is really, but it's this hanja. This hanja is basically Chinese, but that part, those things of Chinese that are used in Korean. I don't know, I can't really explain it, but I think those are just the normal Chinese characters. And here they teach you which, like, how are they connected to the Korean ones and so on. So this is an even special section here, unit 1 and 2, and every unit has 20 lessons. If you think about it, I'm at lesson 12 now of the Korean lessons. And these are 2 units with a total of 40 lessons. And I did 12 lessons in 126. Okay, not really 226, but yeah, around 105 or so days since I started these lessons, and I'm at lesson 12. And there are 40 lessons just for these Chinese characters. So that's how they are a big part of Korean. Let's put it that way. Okay, but enough of that. Let's go back to learning. In Japanese, they still use kanji, and for each there's the Chinese pronunciation. And yeah, I've learned some Chinese. I did Chinese 1.5 years during my studies, but it was only like, I don't know, 2 hours every week or every 2 weeks. I'm not sure. So it was not really a lot, and I stopped at some point and didn't really repeat or review the things I learned. So I totally forgot almost everything, but I know some parts of Chinese still. And this one part that I know very well is the pronunciation. Okay, anyways. So we had Dil and Myot yesterday, we had Man yesterday, we had Eso today, and now we continue with the next one. Oh, we have again from and to. Okay, interesting. Okay, 2 more important Korean particles you need are puto, and kaji. Kaji can be used in sentences with or without eso to have the meaning of to, until, a place, time. So to a place or until a time. Okay. I wait until 3 o'clock. Oh, and they removed the I here. So we learned that as well yesterday. Okay, let me try to read. I always practice my reading. With numbers it's difficult because I have to think about, do I need... by the way, now that I see that, the snaky potes, Korea is actually using... I'm not even sure if it's the real Chinese numbers, but they basically have a Chinese numbering system and the Korean numbering systems, and they use both of them in different situations. Depending on in what situation, what context you need the number, you have to use the Chinese number or the Korean number. This is one of the harder parts, definitely. Yeah, so I actually have this prepared. 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, it is confusing, I have to say. But here we go. When it's loading. Yes. I will make it a bit bigger here. There we go. So Sino-Korean is the Chinese numbers, and pure Korean are the pure Korean numbers. And depending on what context you are in, you use either the Chinese or the Korean ones. So when I just read that sentence, I wait until 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is meaning the hour. So I had to think about, okay, 3 o'clock, it's a time, it's an hour I'm waiting for, so I have to use the pure Korean number. Yeah, it's a bit hard in the beginning, but with this list I can learn it quite well. And here this H part is also funny. You basically say the H to a certain number, you say it in pure Korean, but if the people grow older, you switch to Chinese numbers. It's so weird. So weird. And also different people switch at different numbers. I say here until around 30 because some people use Chinese numbers after 30, but some use Chinese numbers after 50. So they still use Korean numbers from 30 to 50. So different people use the pure Korean numbers longer than others for age. So it's a bit weird. or counting as well. You always use pure Korean, except you're counting money. Then you actually use the Chinese numbers. Anyways, let's continue here. So that's why I had to think about a bit longer when I read that 3 here. So since this is an hour we're talking about, I have to use the pure Korean. So that would be 셋. Okay. 셋 셋 시가 셋 시가지 기다 기다릴. What is this even? I've never seen that. It's wait. It's future form of wait. Okay, I see. I've never seen this syllable before, but it makes sense. I know the verb to wait, and if you transform it to future tense, then it must become this one. It's correct. Okay. Hello. Wait, what was your name again? Let me see. 1 second. I cannot remember. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Park Jae-un, welcome to the stream. 이제는 한국어로 대화 할 수 있나요? I have no idea what that means. Completely no idea. So let me check that. 아니요. 아니요 meaning no, of course. So I guess that was pretty obvious. It takes more time. You have to wait 2 years. Well, anyways. Okay, let's try to read this. 세 시간이 기다릴 거예요.
3시까지 기다릴 거예요.
기다리
3시까지 기다릴 거예요.
기다릴. I barely hear the L here.
3시까지 기다릴 거예요. 3시까지 기다릴 거예요.
기다려. Okay. 한국어, Korean. 공부한지, to study. 한지, I'm not sure. 한지. 얼마나 됐어요? Sorry, I can't translate the last part. 한지. 공부한지. Oh, okay, wait, you have another? 한국어 공부 몇 개월. I know this one, yes. 했어요. Korean studied some months. Yeah, I have, yes, I have studied Korean for some months. That's correct. And some months would be around 4 months. So 4 months would be 네 개월 4 months. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. I elected go until, okay, until today I read up to here, until here in this book. Until I ran until the Han River. Okay, until. So before we had never mind. I will wait until 3. So 3 and then until kaji. 세시까지. Okay.
3시까지 기다릴 거예요.
I will work at that company until May. 저는 그 회사에서 5월까지 일할 거예요.
저는 그 회사에서 5월까지 일할 거예요.
저는 원은 회사, 회사에서 I'm bad at reading today. 저는 회사에서 5월까지 일할 거예요. What time is it there now? No, I'm in Germany. I should know what Germany means in Korean. Germany, and it is this time. 독일? Yes. Yeah, I know when the Korean time is, because in the top right, I know when I start this lesson at 6 p.m. and I know Korea has 1 a.m. in that moment. Germany, Tokil. Let me. Tokil.
독일,
Yeah. Tokil.
독일,
Okay.
독일어,
독일어.
독일어,
If I say I'm a German person, so I'm German, do I say Togirin? Or do I say Togilsa? That's the question here. History, okay. In. Yes. Togirin. Togirin. Ja. Togirin. Togirineo. Togirin. Togirin ieo. Togirin ieo. That's correct, right? Togirin ieo. Yeah, okay. Togil Saram. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I've started this. I've read the first few lines a few times now, but it's now 7 p.m. So I will stop the lesson for today. I don't think I can do the whole lesson now, and I don't want to stop in the middle. Yeah, so we have learned about eso today. Eso. And yeah, tomorrow we'll learn about from and to or until. And we'll also learn about ro. Oh, you used ro. I see you used ro before. In this one sentence that you wrote in the beginning, there was a ro. Tool, device, method, material with a pen, by car. Okay, okay. So let me actually go back to this one. We'll learn about that tomorrow, but okay, the method we are talking in is Korean. I see, I see. We are using the tool, the Korean language, as our tool to talk. That's good. That's good. Makes sense. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, here. Here we have it. That is in Korean. Okay, so I'm stopping the stream now. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a good day or night or morning wherever you are. And bye bye, annyeong.